travel around the world. Can you live the way you want to live on 40% of what you
You
make?
are listening
Well,
to
the business I'm going
the
to show you
Paris
or
Heaven
talk
Radio.
about tonight, and I've already been talking about it,
90.1
you overcome the income tax law legally. We work with the law instead of against it. We'll show you how to put that money back into lifestyle. And we got one more benefit you won't find anywhere else in America. We overcome the rate of inflation in this business. They tell me there's a recession going on in America today. I refuse to participate. I'm telling you, we have got a business vehicle that can't be found anywhere else. But you see, it's kind of like the door. It's too good to be true. Oh, nothing could be that good. Yes, it is. But you see, when you get kicked in the face, you got to listen. What would be different in your home if you could put 60% of your earnings back into lifestyle and write it off? I was looking for those kinds of benefits, but it won't happen these two ways. The only way that you can overcome the system and the only way you'll ever succeed is getting involved in a business the way every successful business in the history of America has overcome the situation. It's been around since people have been around, but it's not taught in any school system, and therefore people don't know about it. It's a very simple process called duplication. Totally, completely, and excited about. As a matter of fact, if your parents hadn't practiced that principle, you wouldn't be here tonight. So it's nothing new. The only way you need to get involved in it is through a business vehicle. Now, the business vehicle that was shown me 5 years ago, for those that are prepared now, and I think I'm about ready to really get into the meat now, is a business vehicle. It's called whatever your name is. I was shown how to go into my own business and call it anything I wanted to call it. And I happen to call my business Sovereign Enterprises. I'm the chairman and president of the board. Chairman of the board appoints the president every year in my business, and he does an excellent job. The chairman of the board, with a conference with the president, also sets salary levels. And he does an excellent job. If I want a raise, I go to the mirror and ask. And you'd be surprised at the results you get from asking a mirror. But behind that was a business vehicle. A vehicle that would allow me to get involved in duplication, that would allow me to duplicate the things in life that didn't cost me any money, and that's why the business didn't cost me any money. And there's only two things I know that you can duplicate that involved in your life that didn't cost any money, and that's your own personal time and your own effort.
Listening to
the only way that can be done is through another human being.
90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
The exciting thing is you can get involved in duplication
the Paris
and
Heaven
duplicate
Radio.
yourself as many times as you want,
FM,
and as a result, you're unlimited in the amount of income you can make. Because it's a business that says help somebody else succeed, and then you benefit. It's a people helping people business. The more people you help succeed, the greater your reward will be. That's a third principle of success. It's called the law of compensation. It says you got to give in order to get. Now watch. You're not going to get aggravated. I'm not picking on you, right? If you plant corn, what do you get back? Corn! The very same blasted thing you put in the ground! You get the same amount you put in the ground back, or you get more or less? You get more! 10,000 times more than what went in the ground. Now hear me. You get it back 3 days after you put it in the ground? A whole growing season. What's the average length of corn to grow in West Texas, Central Texas? No. Somebody, I don't know. What is it? Any farmers in here? Anybody knows anything about what? 100 days? Yeah, about 100. Depends on the type, I'm told. On a growing season, there's three very vital, important principles that I just explained to you. Number one, you get back in life what you give out. You give out junk, you'll get junk back. You give out good, you'll get good back. It's called the law of compensation. Number two, you'll get more back than what you give out. It's called the law of increasing returns. Number three, you get back what you give out after you give it out. It's called the law of delayed gratification. Three very vital and important principles of success. But what are you taught? Go down and get a good job, work 10 hours a day, work every 2 weeks, and demand a paycheck. How long would you keep going to work tomorrow if they quit paying you? Said, we'll make it up when we get ready. How many months could you operate with no income? What would you rather have? Be honest with me. Who's pretty new here that's involved in the business? Okay, ma'am. What's your name, please? Pardon me? Okay, Judy, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. Just want to make a point here. What would you rather have? $500,000 cash or a penny a day double for 30 days? What would you rather have? I just settle up with you right here tonight. $500,000 in cash or a penny a day double for 30 days? Go ahead, Judy. I'm not trying to hold you. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. Penny a day? Now, did you really want to say that? How many people here would rather have $500,000 cash right now? Don't be afraid to raise your hand. That's what I said. Man, I want the money. See, that's the trouble when you talk to people who are involved in the business, because you brought the principle of delayed gratification. Penny day doubled for 30 days works out to be over $14 million in cash. But after 7 days, it's 64 cents. Isn't that wonderful? The law of increasing returns, the law of delayed gratification. You see, if you want to succeed, put the principles of success to work for you. Then you just need a business vehicle, and that's what the business is all about.
You are listening
duplicate
to
yourself through other people, you help other people
Radio.
succeed. When you benefit, you make it.
90.1
J. Paul
FM.
Getty did the same thing in the oil business right here in the great state of Texas.
ParisHeavenRadio.com.
That's where he got his start, here in Oklahoma, and then went into Southern California. He had a very simple philosophy that helped him become one of the wealthiest men the world has ever known. He said, surround yourself with ambitious people, cause them to make a great deal of money first, and don't worry about your reward. Why? Because he understood the law of compensation. Well, we do the same thing through a business vehicle. You duplicate yourself as many times as you so desire. Therefore, as you help other people benefit, you reward. You got a business that works with anybody, anywhere, through friends, neighbors, relatives, casual acquaintances, or strangers. We know that in a 5-year period on Working Smart, you can increase your annual income not a penny less than $50,000 a year, minimum. It's proven. It is the fastest growing business in operation today in the American states and in the free world. It has generated and caused more people to become millionaires than any other business in the history of America. We've grown every year. We've never had a dip in sales. We've never had a bad year. And it's good, and it works. It's the doorway to your future, to your dreams, your goals, your desires. The question is, do you want to go through the door? What's it called? Severn Enterprises, because it's my business, because it's my name. Now, if you get excited about what we're talking about here tonight and want to begin a business, you can call it Severn Enterprises. If that turns you on, it won't hurt my feelings. I don't care. Or you can call it anything else you want to call it. But I want you to understand one thing. You are in business for you and nobody else. Now you got something to work with in the American capitalistic free enterprise system. And that's why successful people work for themselves. They don't let somebody else control them. Now watch. There's a servicing corporation that makes all this possible. Puts the whole thing together in a great big package for the brand new ones here that really still don't know why you're here. That corporation is the only one of its kind in the history of the world. It's the only corporation its size and kind that's on a cash basis. Doesn't have any stockholders except the 2 co-founders. 2 very young, some of the most highly respectable men in America. 2 of the greatest business leaders ever in the history of America. They own all the stock. You know, they're doing pretty good, so there's not a whole lot of cash dividends to get declared out of profit. The largest manufacturing facility created in the U.S. The entire operation covers over 700 acres of property. The entire operation cost over $800 million to build. There's not one penny of debt owed against it.
Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM,
Because we have no stockholders and owe no debt,
ParisHeavenRadio.com.
65% of sales get paid back to the people in this business through 9 separate and distinct profits that we offer. You get paid each one of those profits based on the same effort. It's called working smart. Could you handle 9 paychecks where you're working every month, each one bigger than the last? But you see, it's camouflaged. The whole area is camouflaged, so when people look at it, they can't believe it's true. Last year, sales were $1.4 billion. What's 65% of $1.4 billion? It's a gob. It's a bunch. Over $800 million got paid back to the people smart enough to be involved in the business vehicle. This year, we'll probably pay back more in profit than last year's sales were. No other company in America could continue with that kind of an exciting growth story. You know why? Because every other company's got a terrible debt structure. And instead of taking all that profit and paying it back to the people making the business work, they get to put it back into debt service. Well, Amway pays no debt. Did you hear that? Amway pays no debt. The servicing corporation is known as Amway Corporation. The most exciting going someplace country in business anywhere in the world. I'm proud of it because I'm proud to be in a business that builds the American system up rather than trying to tear it down. And the camouflage is a box of soap. And I think it's totally humorous. I laugh every time because 5 years ago, when I heard the word Amway, after a guy had explained it, and there's a whole plan here that for the new people I haven't gotten into tonight, you need to sit down with who invited you here and explain it so they can understand it. But there's a whole system that's so simple it'll blow your socks off. All you got to do is put a little pressure on it and walk on through. And be willing to consistently and persistently put forth 8 to 10 hours a week of effort. And you're going to become very wealthy. 3 promises we make people if you listen to us. Number 1, you live longer. Number 2, you be happier. Number 3, you be wealthy. When I heard Amway, I sat with a 3-piece suit in a rubber tree plant on the 9th floor of one Capitol Center in Boise. I had the second fanciest office in Boise. Who had the fanciest? My boss! You ever noticed how that works? Amway! Never heard of it. Here I was, a big shot, flew all over this country, worked on some of the biggest audits in the entire United States of America, and I hadn't even heard Paul Harvey talk about it on the weekend news. I just looked at the guy and I said, is this thing for real? And he said, yeah. I said, is it honest? He said, yeah. I said, is it legal? He said, yeah. I said, you and me are going to be wealthy. I couldn't imagine anybody in their right mind that would turn down an opportunity to increase their income an extra $50,000 a year. On honest and legal, couple of nights a week of effort without giving up the security of what they now have. I couldn't imagine anybody that ignorant. I'm telling you the truth. And every time I show somebody this idea and show them how to get involved in business for themselves and offer my time, my effort, and my knowledge, which I'm willing to do at no charge, now watch, and they say, well, we wouldn't be interested, I get excited. The reason I get excited is because I just made $50, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. It's the same as if they'd taken a $50 bill out of the pocket and given it to me every time somebody says no. So I thank them. I say, appreciate it, thanks for the 50. Then I look them dead in the eye and I say, now I'm going to tell you something, friend, just because I care about you, whether you want to buy it or not, let me say what the truth is. The truth is this: you haven't said no to me. You've said no to you. The first thing you've said is, no, I don't want any money. Oh, I like being broke. No, I don't want to buy anything in wholesale. I'd rather pay retail for everything. That way down at the store I can give all my money away at once. No, I don't want any tax benefits. None whatsoever. I enjoy giving all my money to the IRS. No, I don't want any permanent income in my life. I want to die broke with total insecurity so that when I'm gone, my wife and family get nothing. That's what you said no to. So have a good life, and welcome to the 98% Club, because America needs broke people, and you're going to make a good one. Now somebody said, do you really say that? The answer is yes. Because I'm going to tell you something about me. I am not going to stand there and let somebody fail and be with them. I'm not going to help somebody go down the tubes in this country. I'm going to take my time, knowledge, and effort and give it away, and that's just what your leadership is doing here. The people that have started this business in this area and are building it are among the finest in the whole world of Amway, and we're proud of that. I want you to know that. You're not messing around here with a song and dance operation. We know what we're doing. We know how to run this business as a very strong, profitable, and professional organization. But here's what I like about it. Ain't no big shots. We don't care who you are or where you're from. We don't care about your background. If you've got 15 degrees, you're the same as a guy that's never been to school. And if you're shown this business by somebody that's been in it longer than you, you ought to have enough sense to realize that and understand that you can't create something greater than what you are, and you can't use the principles of failure to succeed with, so you ought to have enough sense to listen to them.
The Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM.
Because you see, in this business, by virtue of the way it works, your upline, those are the people that brought you into the business, want nothing more to see you succeed. That's what they want. When you make it, everybody else makes it. It's called mutually beneficial. That's why we'll work as hard for you as you'll work for yourself without any charge. There's only been one man in my life offer to work as hard for me as I'd work for me and not charge me. His name's Steve Kirkham. I love him. He's my sponsor. He drove 3 hours through a snowstorm to show me this business. And I about blew him out. But you see, I was prepared the night I saw this business. And I'm going to tell you something. We have found out over the time we've been involved in this business that dreamers get in and non-dreamers don't want nothing to do with it. Isn't that exciting? I get excited because, you see, a non-dreamer ain't going to succeed anyway, because what's success? The progressive realization of a dream. And without a dream, there's no success and can never be. What's the progressive realization of nothing? You understand what I'm trying to get to. We also know that you can't keep a dreamer out of this business, because we'll guarantee it'll allow you to have everything in life you ever wanted, because it will generate an unlimited source of income if you'll work the plan. If you're in this business and you ain't making any money from it, it's because you ain't duplicating work habits. Amway works if you work Amway. But just like the door, somebody say, oh man, don't do that deal, man. I've seen one of them doors before. I tried to go through one of them doors before. Somebody locked it on me, man. I lost an eyebrow. Well, earlier I told you that Walt went through the door, stood out there and said, come on in. Lynn was out there with him. Come on in. We've gone through it. We'll unlock them for you. We'll open doors for you that'll take you where in life it is you want to go if you listen to the successful people in this organization that know how it works. Because, you see, I don't want anybody in here not to make it. I would have liked to have you all with us over in Anaheim. Have you ever come splashing down through the Matterhorn on that ride, twisting and circling, and had your whole family with you? Had all your kids behind you just hooting and scooting and hollering when you hit the bottom of that, whammo through the water, and it's dynamite, and you get off and laugh and giggle? Because you butt your kids all day passes and they can write anything they want as many times as they want. When I was broke, we went to the fair. I gave them 15 cents. They'd have a ball. Can you imagine being able to walk out through a moonlit area and beautiful area of Southern California with your wife hand in hand, talking about your future, the dreams and goals and desires that you want, squeezing her and knowing that it's tax season and you ain't in the office, saying, honey, I'm glad you're with me. Isn't it a great room we got? Isn't it wonderful that we're now free and have been? Isn't it wonderful that we can have our family down here and afford to take them with us? Isn't it great to know that we're in the American system rather than being the losing part of it? Isn't it wonderful to know that we're on the road to somewhere rather than being on the road to nowhere?
Heaven Radio.
I shudder every time I think about it.
ParisHeavenRadio.com.
I'm going to tell you why I almost turned it down. Because I got started in it and I found out two things real quick. Number one, I was the most ambitious person I knew. And number two, I didn't have any friends. I'll tell you that when the first 6 months I was in this business, I thought I was trying to give a disease away. But I want you to know something. The difference between successes and failures is that successful people are consistent and persistent. When you have a dream and you've got a way to make your dreams come true, baby cakes, I'm telling you, the only thing that'll stop you is you. And we even overcome that one if you're smart enough in this business, called an upline that are willing to help and give and share and be part of you. That'll laugh with you, cry with you, and want to be your friend. But you got to understand that, and that's why you need to get plugged in. Now, hear this. 4 things that got to be if you're ever going to succeed. Now, they just got to be. Number one,